circulating, but it felt like there was like almost like whenever I'm fasting. Okay, so for instance, when I fast and my body is like detoxing a lot or moving a lot of stuff, like it feels like there's like little black spots all throughout the meridians where there's like moving a lot of junk, and that's kind of what it felt like last night when I was going to sleep. And I kind of thought it was also interesting that like mentally the worrying aspect of whatever this is was worse than what it was actually doing to me physically. So like physically I was like, oh, I just kind of felt like the common cold, like which it could be that, I don't know. So I don't know, but
Okay.
whatever it is, it's very, very, very mild. It's like definitely, so let's say hypothetically I do have it, then it's definitely overhyped by the public hysteria and everything. But
Mm,
I'm not certain I do have it. So
well, I mean, you're young, you're healthy, so yeah, people
yeah,
who are compromised, even really benign stuff, can take people out. So, um, but hopefully you just bounce out of this pretty quickly.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Any qigong theory questions? Somebody asked about the my book list, and I'll email it out. Uh, I keep changing it, but I'll send you guys some of my recommended readings. We have time now. Read a book. Get off the
Well,
internet.
that in theory, yes, but it's also day one of
No.
homeschooling.
Say that again.
It's that in theory, yes, we have more time, but today was day one of homeschooling, and we're trying to wrap our head around, being a Montessori teacher.
Teach them how to use the abacus.
Where
That's
do I get one of those from?
Amazon.
I had one.
That's my goal for this coronavirus isolation is I know how to add and subtract, but I want to learn how to do the multiplication and division on it. But the Asian kids who learn how to use abacus, their mental ability to do math in their head is just off the charts.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So because it's very visual. So yeah. So you can add that into the curriculum.
Yeah, I'll look that one up. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
I do have a question about the book list, Stephen, while I'm here.
Go ahead.
Which one? You said there was one or two of them that were available as audiobooks?
Yes. I can look at my phone.
Oh, that's okay. If you don't know them off the top of your head, I can go through the list and look them up.
Robert Pang's book, The Master Key.
Oh, yes.
Is on there. And then the one that I said was called The Chronicles of Tao. That's broken into 3 different books. And the first book of that book is an audiobook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are good because they actually sound like, fiction. So it could sound like you're listening to Harry Potter or something. It's, that kind of far out there. Okay. Let's see. Any comments, questions about practice? Any interesting stuff you guys want to hear about in regards to Qigong terminology and what's happening when we do our practice? What's going on in the world? I'm not going to go into that, but we'll keep it to Qigong. Okay.
I had a quick look through some YouTube videos about the top 10 Qigong masters. That was quite interesting.
Oh, nice.
I think it included Robert Pang? I can't remember, but he came up somewhere.
Oh, nice.
But there was a number of different masters there, and some of the stuff they were doing was quite interesting, pretty cool to see the visual demonstration. Some of them were quite old though, so the quality wasn't all that good.
Nice. Yeah, send me the link. I'll watch it and I'll see if I know any of them.
I just did a YouTube search, and there was some stuff that came up there. And I think one was called top 10 Qigong Masters.
Nice.
And the top one I think was Jack
Dynamo Jack Chin.
Jan, the one from, was it Bali or Indonesia? I can't remember where he was from, but he was a healer. And
So he died recently. He died, this past couple months ago. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take a look. I like watching that stuff.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool demonstrations. One, like including them when lining up like 5 or 10, and he just used the chi to send a wave or something, and they just, bounced away, kind of thing.
Yeah, that stuff looks so fake, but
It does.
But Tai Chi practitioners who I know who play with and who do that with their masters is like, I always thought it was fake until it happened to me. is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they always say. So yeah, that stuff does look fake, but it's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stephen, I know I already thanked you, but I wanted to tell you just listening to the meditation when I practice at home is super helpful for me.
Oh, nice.
I love practicing in the group, but the home practice is, you don't have the time like the later in the evening, and it's just been really good. And that meditation before is really helpful.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to say the same thing. It's been really helpful to me as well. I mean, to be able to do it at home
Nice.
and hear your voice.
But yeah, home practice and class practice, they're both so valuable. And one thing I've always loved about this practice was from day one, you were told that, okay, you have to go home and practice. So it wasn't like, I'll see you, tomorrow, same time, and we'll repeat. It's like, no, from day one, you have a home practice, and it's an easy practice to do at home. So you kind of get different things when you train at home with your own focus and your own distractions. Some people, they can focus more in class versus at home. It's like, there's so much distractions. Oh, I need to clean, I need to do this, versus some people can focus in really well at home. So they both kind of give you something different. So it's nice to cross train and put yourself in different environments, and and just kind of get different pieces when you're in class versus when you're by yourself. You can still access that group energy even when you're training at home. That's kind of what the pool is. Like when we go into the pine tree forest and with the sun, that links us all together within this lineage, all the current students and the past students. So it's kind of like this morphogenic field of all of our group consciousness and group energy that we can access. So you can tap into that even when you're practicing at home. So just know when we go into the pine tree forest in the sun, that's kind of linking us all together. And that's the main reason I do that meditation so much, is because it does kind of bring us all together very easily. So some people say when they connect into the pool, they can get information from, Master Yang or Dr. Yang, or from other masters that came before. And that's kind of neat. So everyone has their own experience with doing that meditation and connecting into the energy. But yes, being in the classroom with lots of students is very useful, and it's pretty high energy, but you can still access that kind of energy practicing at home too. So don't feel like, oh, well, I can't go to class, so I'm not going to practice. Like, no, practice at home too. Do what you can. When I was teaching in Dallas, I taught in Dallas for over 4.5 years, 5 years, and I would drive up every 2 weeks. So I would drive up Monday and then teach class and then drive home Monday night. So those students only got class twice a month. So they had to practice at home. So it was neat to see that, even with them having class twice a month, they're still able to progress and go through all the different levels. So yeah, I remember when one of them came down to Austin to practice, he was just like, you guys are so lucky, you have class once a week. And he was like, I only have class, every 2 weeks. And now we have class, twice a week. So it's pretty neat. Okay. So we'll do a meditation here shortly, but for Wednesday, if you guys have any questions or anything you guys want me, if anything comes up and you're like, hey, can you talk about this? You can always shoot me an email or a text beforehand, and I can have a little discussion on that topic as well. So if you don't feel like asking something publicly or right now, or you don't have anything on the top of your head, something comes up later or tomorrow, it's like, oh yeah, just shoot me a message and then I'll add that to the list of things to touch base on. And then I'll touch base with some of the other instructors too. I know Matt had opened up his class for other people to join in and listen in on. When was that, Maureen? Was that on a Tuesday afternoon? Do you remember around what time we did it?
Yeah, it was. It was, I think it was last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get that link, and if anyone else wants to sit on his class, it's just great to see other instructors and other students and hearing about what they're experiencing.
I remember the time was 2:30. I couldn't go,
Okay.
but I don't know what time zone that was on.
They're Pacific, but I think it was 2:30 our time and maybe 12:30 their time or something like that.
Okay.
No. I'll see if I can get a link and send that to him again, to you guys. Cool. Okay, let's do meditation. Any requests?
Longevity.
Orbital, microcosmic orbital.
Meow.
Meow. Okay, I'm going to dim my lights a little bit. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do? Yeah, we can do the longevity meditation. Everybody has everyone done that? Raise your hand. Yes, no. Tony, I don't think you have. Ed, have you done it?
Not sure. I'm not sure what it is.
Where we all talk about it. So we'll take in the 3 morning suns to get some energy. We'll light up the bones. We'll go into the pine tree forest, and then we'll see ourselves at our present age, and then we'll go back in years. So if you're older than me, or older than where I start, just gradually come down and then find a way to catch up with us on a certain age. So we'll drop down maybe every 5-10 years, and then we'll get down all the way down to newborn. So we'll stay at newborn. Don't go past newborn, meaning like don't go to conception or some past life or anything. Just newborn is as far as we go. Then we'll take that information from newborn and we'll go back up again. And then as we go from our present age, you don't want to see yourself getting older. In fact, if there's elements and things that, aren't optimal, we can make a correction moving forward. So you can see your vision getting better or regaining certain function. And then we'll go all the way up to 150. But as we go up, you want to see yourself as healthy and happy. So at 80, you want to see yourself as a happy, healthy, vibrant 40-year-old that's been doing Qigong. When you get up to 100, you want to see yourself as a healthy 50-year-old who's been doing Qigong. And then all the way up to 150. So at 150, you should feel vibrant like that of a 75-year-old who's been doing Qigong and full of health and vitality. So we're setting the design. So when we go backwards, we're kind of cleaning the past and cleaning out some of the blockage and some of the emotional traumas and stuff, just freeing up the energy as we go down. Then at newborn, we have that original information of, like the acorn having all the information to grow into an oak tree. So we have all that original information to live a long, healthy life all the way to 150. So we want to bring that signal with us as we go into the future. So as we go down, we're cleaning. As we're going back up in the past, we're still cleaning. And then as we're going from our present age forward, we're setting the blueprint. We're setting the design of where we want to go. So we're choosing where we want to go versus leaving it up to circumstance. So if there's certain anniversaries and stuff, like 20-year wedding anniversary, 50-year wedding anniversary, you can plug that into your blueprint. Or when Halley's Comet comes back around, oh, I want to be somewhere in Italy on top of a mountain watching it fly over, or some really cool thing like that. So you can really ingrain it into your physiology. Then from 150, we're going to come back down. So at 150, we want to see it as if it already happened. And now, because it's already happened, we're going to review it as if it had happened. So we're reviewing that new blueprint, and then we'll go back to our present age. I believe in the Fit 150 book, or the Intended Evolution book, it has this meditation in there. There's many different ways we've done it in the past. In the Fit 150, we've done it where we've gone all the way down to newborn, back up to 150, back down to newborn, back to now. There's been many times washing. But for us, we want to connect into the pool, get some energy, and then go to newborn, 150, and then back to the present. If you're doing this at home on your own and you fall asleep, whenever you wake up, just bring yourself back to now. And don't go past 150 because it just takes a lot of energy. So the analogy is like if you want to paint a really big mural or a big painting, it takes a lot of paint. So the other option to do is like you can always shorten it. So you can always go back to newborn and then blueprint, 10 years in front of you of your current age. If there's some stuff here that you really want to improve upon and optimize, then you can just in that 10, instead of going all the way to 150, you can just focus on making this better for the next 10 years. So you have more energy to feed into correcting something. But the general outline is present age, newborn, all the way up to 150, and then all the way back to now. Okay? Let's go ahead and get comfortable. So just go ahead and close your eyes. You can roll the tip of your tongue to where it touches the roof of your mouth, just behind your front upper teeth. And as we roll the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, we start to bring all our awareness, all the pieces of our mind, all our spirit back into the body. So it's just shining the light of awareness back inwards. And then you can guide it down to lower dantian. So just shine that inner light, that inner awareness all the way down to lower dantian. Allow it to get brighter and fuller. Just allow the energy to naturally collect and pull in lower dantian. And as we're focused on lower dantian, we can tune everything else out, letting go of the past, forgetting about the future, just be present in the moment. Allow the body to be relaxed, allow the chi to flow. And then we can take in 3 morning suns. So just visualize a bright white morning sun, using your mind to pull the sun to you. Open the top of the head. Inhale and breathe in the morning sun all the way down into lower dantian. And we create a second morning sun. Pull the sun to you. See it, feel it. Inhale, let it melt and pour straight down into lower dantian. And then one last time, a third morning sun. Just like before, pull it to you. Try to make it as real as possible. Inhale, let it melt and pour straight into lower dantian. Close the top of the head. So now with lower dantian very bright and very full, we want to use some of this energy to brighten up the bones. So just shine it straight up into your sternum. And just using your mind, spread this light through all the rib cage and collarbones, into your spine, going up and down each vertebra. Spreading into the head. So just see and feel this light spreading through all the cranial bones in your head. To your eye sockets and sinuses. Upper and lower jaws. Into your teeth. Down your shoulder joints, shoulder blades, down your arms. Just see those bones getting brighter as you move your awareness and the energy into that region. Forearms, hands and fingers. Down from your low back, sacrum and tailbone. Into your pelvis, hip joints. Down the long bones of your thigh. Filling up your knees. Lower legs. All the way down into your heels, feet, and toes. And just scan over your body real quickly with your mind's eye, making sure all the bones are bright white. And just see yourself sitting in that beautiful pine tree forest. Longevity pine trees surrounding you in all directions. The sun is shining through the pine needles onto your skin. Feel very open and connected to nature, balanced and supported by nature. And just see yourself at this present age. So for those of you who are younger, just wait till we get to your age. So just see yourself at 35. What were you doing there? Down to 30. And then see yourself at 21. 16. getting your driver's license and driving around. Ten, happy and healthy and playful, learning new things. See yourself at 5 years old. 3, 2, 2 years old. 1, newborn. So see yourself as a newborn, happy and healthy, full of love, surrounded by love. Everything's perfect in the moment. You have all the original information to live a happy and healthy, long life. And as we move forward, carry these qualities with you as we go through the ages. So see yourself at 1 once again. 3, 6, 6 years old. 9, 18, 18 years old. So full of energy, very happy, very healthy, very active. 25, 30 years old. 40, 50, 60. At 60, you have the health and vitality of a healthy 30-year-old that's been doing Qigong. 70, 80, still vibrant, learning new things, meeting new people. 90, 100. At 100, you still have good vision, good hearing, strong teeth, strong bones, good flexibility and strength. 110, 120. At 120, you have the vibrant health of a healthy 60-year-old. 130. Once again, meeting new people, making new friends. 140. 150. See yourself at 150, happy and healthy, so full of energy, full of wisdom and understanding. All your organs are functioning. Still clear vision, strong teeth, good hearing, good balance, strong bones. And as we go back down in age, bring this wisdom and this understanding back with you. And as we touch on these different ages, you're reviewing it because you already set the blueprint. So you can drop down to 130. Reviewing your blueprint. 110. 90. Once again, at 90, you have the health and energy of a healthy 45-year-old. 75. 65. 55. 'Happy, healthy, strong, vibrant, very energetic. 50. 45. And just drop yourself down to your present age. And just see yourself in this present moment, full of energy, full of vitality. You can glance down back to newborn, that newborn you with all the original programming to live a happy, healthy, long life. You can glance up to 150 and see that future you with all the wisdom and understanding. And then bring yourself back into the moment. Focusing on Lord Dantian. You can gather all the energy from around you. So you can take in a few breaths, drawing in the energy from around you and guiding it to Lord Dantian. Once you feel like you have all the energy from around the outside of the body, you can tighten and close your pores If lower dantian slowly rotating, gradually allowed to come to a stop. And just whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. You can relax the mind and come on out.
Oh.
Okay. Any comments, questions on that meditation? Anybody have any difficulty with this meditation? Go ahead, Ed.
I think it's the first time I've done it, so yeah, there's a few questions that come up along the way,
Okay.
as is the case with my mind.
So what questions do you have?
I guess as you're regressing, going back, for me, when you mentioned certain ages, particular things popped up in my mind related to around that age.
Mhm.
So memories. So I'm not sure if that's the intention when you're regressing.
So
Like-
yeah, like if there's happy memories we can access, if there are unhappy memories, it's still good to touch, because sometimes unhappy memories can shift as time goes forward. So something that you in the moment, like when you're younger fighting with a sibling or something, like in that moment it was really bad, but you look back 30, 40 years later, it's like that really wasn't that big of a deal. And just by looking at it from a different point of view, you can kind of shift it a lot.
You mean like to appreciate the memories rather than judge them?
Sure. Or just by looking at them, we change them. So if there's trauma there, if say at 17 there was a trauma and we went to like 17, you're like, oh, I can't go there. And you just jump to another number. So if there's certain traumas that you just can't look at just yet, you can go to the numbers like before and after and just go on those numbers, and little by little it starts to clean it to where someday you'll be able to go to that number, look at that experience, and that starts to transform it and change it. But there's really strong, anchoring, powerful memories, very useful to touch. And sometimes people can be too hard on themselves, especially as adults. It's like, what have you done in life that's, a great success or just a really positive memory? Some people don't have any because they're too hard on themselves. So this could be a nice tool to go back and actually make some milestones and some flags. So when you do look back, you see these things that you've done. Because I know so many people like, oh, I haven't ever done anything. I'm just like, well, did you graduate high school? Yeah. Did you graduate college? Yeah. You have a job? Yeah. It's like some people are just too hard on themselves. So it's a nice way to go back and anchor really strong, powerful memories, and then also clean up uncomfortable memories. But if there's a really uncomfortable memory, we don't have to go and like, okay, time to clean it up. It might be too uncomfortable to do that for severe stuff. So if you need to go to the, right around it, little by little, it's kind of like if you have a sore spot on Golden Shield, we can skip that spot and train around it, and that training around it will vibrate the area and help kind of increase the circulation, get the bruising to go away faster, versus like keep hitting it.
So then, is there a particular intention with respect to when you say cleaning up and then also going the other way, progressing through the ages up towards 150? Is there a particular intention or state of being that we're aiming to be in, or?
I think when we're reflecting back, we just want to, if there's a trauma or something, we want to be neutral.
Neutral, yeah.
If there's, just observe it and just see what comes up. Because in some ways, why do we even do the preparation in advance? Is we want to get some energy in the body and get everything flowing. All the meridians are open, they're flowing, there's good energy. So that's like our natural state. So we want to go to all these other experiences. So if, say you touch a memory that's uncomfortable, usually something's shut down. Certain meridians aren't flowing. But if we're in an open state and we go there, the idea is to keep the meridians open while experiencing that. So over time, we can repattern it.
Yeah, I freed up some attention the moment you said stay neutral.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then going forward, we want to anchor positive memories too. So we have this sense of feeling vibrant and having this energy that we have now. We're like, oh yeah, I can take this with me.
Yeah, yeah.
But a common thing people all the time say, well, I don't want to live that long. Well, it's like the current you doesn't want to live that long. We don't know what the you tomorrow will want, especially as you start shifting some patterns. Because most people base their future experience on their past and everything they've observed. So they see people in old folks' homes and really decrepit and like they can't function. Versus seeing someone who's like 100 years old running marathons. It's like, oh, well, if that's the 100 you're talking about, then sign me up, you know? So don't sell yourself short, you know, go ahead and build the foundation to go that far. Later, you can decide if you want to live that long or not. But don't say, oh, I don't want to live that long, so I'm only going to go to 90. And then once you're at 70, you're like, oh, I want to go to 150, but you didn't build the foundation to support that. So go ahead and build the foundation to go to 150. Whether you go there or not is irrelevant. But to set yourself up for that is a nice foundation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Any cool experiences? Alan?
Yeah, I feel like there's like this like spring within me and like my lower dantian that's kind of like emanating this like youthful energy, and it feels really cool. So I thought that was really awesome. Do you notice that like in the time that you've been doing this, you've been able to repattern the energy of pretty much all the traumas throughout your life, and when you look back at all of them, your chi doesn't stagnate, but you still maintain that youthfulness, like regardless of whatever happened in your history? Like you've revisited this so many times that it's completely rewritten it?
To an extent, you know, there's also some advanced stuff we do in the Pure Energy to work specifically with certain traumas and stuff. But I mean, I feel kind of lucky, like I didn't have that much stuff growing up. So now I have to be like with a magnifying glass and going, okay, well, what could have been like a big trigger? Because sometimes little things people say in passing can be big triggers and big, you know, traumas. It wasn't like, you know, I had an easy childhood growing up, but, you know, so I kind of have to look under a microscope a little bit, like to find certain things to work on. But yeah, just by doing it, it changes it. The story I tell all the time in regards to when Dr. John gave us this meditation, one of the classmates was drinking something close to 30 Diet Cokes a day. And once he got this meditation and doing it for like a week or so, he went to work, took a sip of Diet Coke, threw up, and never touched it again. So if we're setting a design and we're setting a strong design to live to 150, then your body's going to use its natural intelligence to go, well, if you want to do that, then you can't do this, this, or that anymore. So the physiology starts to change, and like you start drawing in the things that will support that design and dropping the things that don't support it. So, but you have to have a clear idea where you're heading. And that's the tricky part for a lot of people. They just leave everything open to circumstance. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And like, you know, I love using my girlfriend as an example all the time because she gives me a lot of teaching points that I can talk about. So she's an acupuncturist as well, but she's in Houston. And even a couple times a day when I talk to her on the phone, she flips back and forth. Do I keep my clinic open? Do I close my clinic? Do I keep my clinic open? Do I close my clinic? because she's like involved in all these Facebook groups and stuff, and she's hearing what other people are saying and what are other people doing. But then when she goes in the clinic, how grateful everyone is that she's open and able to help them, and like she feels so powerful that, you know, and rewarded from helping those people. But she flips back and forth every day. What's going on with the news? What's going on with that? I'm just like, look, you're burning up so much mental energy, bouncing back and forth. Choose very clearly on what you want to do and do it until you can't do it. So if you want to shut it down, perfect, shut it down. Your mind's free. You don't have to bounce back and forth. But if you do want to stay open, then choose to stay open and stay open until the government says you can't stay open. She's like, oh my God, yes, that's so simple, because she's bouncing back and forth so much and just burning up all this mental energy. So it's good to have a blueprint. It's good to have a game plan. You know, I say it all the time in regards to like when you're flying from Austin to New York, the weather and the wind blows the airplane off track just a little bit, but it's constantly correcting. Plus the earth is spinning. So it's constantly making auto correction. So as long as it knows where you're going, then you can get to that destination. Now in the current environment, it's like, okay, I want to go to New York, and you start flying there and New York goes, nope, you got to turn around. You can't land here. Then make that decision then. So for her, it's just like, okay, stay open until, you know, the mayor shuts down Houston and you can't stay open. So that's where she's at now. And she feels at ease about that now. So it's kind of a little example of like why having a very clear direction and game plan is very, very useful. You ask most people about how old are they going to be when they die? And most people are going to base it close to what their parents are, maybe just 10 years past what their parents. No one's going to go, okay, all my parents died at 70, so I'm going to live to 140. It's not very common. But now it's in the collective consciousness about people wanting to live long. The guy who created Bulletproof Coffee talks about 150, 160, you know, and he talks about that publicly. So as more and more people line up to that, then it becomes a lot more tangible.
Hey, Steven, I'm curious, like for a lot of the Qigong masters, what kind of lifespans did they have?
Well, one of the books I referenced, that guy lived to supposedly 256. So, you know, Master Yang, I think, was in his 80s, but he also drank heavily and smoked heavily. And he also went through war. And, you know, countless, you know, he killed so many people, you know, because that's just what they had to do, you know. Yeah, like Master Yang, Dr. John would ask Master Bo questions about Master Yang. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, the amount of heads they cut off was just unbelievable. He said you could fill up a truck full, a cart full, he said, because they specialize in the long sword. So the Japanese had the rifles, so they would wait for the Japanese to shoot once and they would charge and then chop their heads off. So, you know, yeah, people live through some harsh times. We have it kind of easy. But there's records of people living, you know, a long time. There's the Shaolin monk, Haitong. He was 100 and something, and there's video of him doing one finger handstands, and him doing the splits. Like at 100 and something, he's like super flexible. He's like a yogi, like doing the splits and doing everything. There's even videos of him using his finger and just punching through a punching bag and just poking a hole in it, sand coming out. So I asked Dr. Zhang about him, and he's like, oh yeah, he's pretty low level. Because he was the main Shaolin monk who interacted with the public. So he said, oh, the ones who always interact with the public always, you know, not that high level. The high level ones are in the cave meditating and like, leave us alone. So he lived to 100 and something, but he died from liver cancer. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know the age of most masters, but the quality of life that they have up to when they die is pretty good. There's a master, Master Lu. He's a Bagua master, and you would see him like wearing his yellow and doing the Bagua. Dr. Zhang said he met him maybe when he was in his late 80s. But he lived to about 117. But he had perfect health up until that point. It just happened to be that where he lived was a very inclined community, city, and it was very gravelly. So he slipped and broke his hip, and then infection and all that stuff. And so that's what he died from. But up to that point, he was very active, all his teeth, very vibrant until he broke his hip, slipping. So that's pretty impressive, when you look at the videos from him from 90 to like 115, like he doesn't look much different.
Stephen, one of the YouTube videos that I saw, they mentioned Bagua. There was a Bagua master. I don't know if it was the same one. What is that?
Bagua is a martial art based on the little 8 trigrams. So it's the trigrams are the broken line, solid line, broken line. So it's a configuration of the I Ching.
Yeah.
So it's a Taoist martial art based on that. So they usually do a lot of circle walking. Yeah. Pretty fascinating. Any other questions? Did you guys enjoy the meditation?
Yes. It was awesome.
It was too long.
That's why I don't like to teach it very often, but I figured this is a good avenue for something.
Well, for my first time, I was expecting it to be longer. It was built up.
That's what she said.
It's worth it if I'm living 150.
True.
Good point.
Got some time on my hands.
So to reflect back on what we did, the numbers I chose to use, you don't have to use. You can just go at whatever increment. I just do not recommend going year by year. Don't do that. Jump in increments.
Would you recommend going past 150?
No, not right now. Yep. If you do, you might notice you feel tired or you feel like you have no energy. Because if you want to go that long, then something has to change.
Why do you recommend to not live longer?
Than 150? Because it takes a lot of energy. So if you want to paint your house, it takes so much paint. But if you want to paint 100 houses, that's a lot of paint. So right now we just want to set the foundation to good health, good vitality. And then maybe in the future we can, we'll see what he unleashes. Yeah. Cool. But going up, it's nice to be a little bit more specific. And then once you're at 150, you can drop down a little bit faster. Kind of like going downhill is a lot easier sometimes. But you don't want to go super fast and you don't want to go super slow. So you just kind of have to go at your own pace. Okay, if there's no other questions, then we'll just wrap up and I'll send you guys a link for the class on Wednesday. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me and I'll try to address them in the next call. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.